We thank Marty Hughes for that. We are joined by two NewsNation contributors now, former CIA officer and FBI special agent Tracy Walder and criminal trial attorney Sara Azari. Thank you both. We have a lot of questions, so let's start with you, Sara. Reports late yesterday afternoon claim that Lori will be extradited to Arizona. Can you help us understand why, and what is the likely outcome for her there?
Well, Natasha, okay, so remember, she has a pending open case involving her brother Alex, who's dead, and her as co-conspirators in the murder of her ex-husband Charles. Now, interestingly, there's similarities between these two cases, and the evidence in the Arizona case was admitted in the trial in Idaho. But there's a difference in the charges, in that in Idaho, she was also charged with murder, first-degree murder. In Arizona, she is not. And that's important to note because it relates to the death penalty. So under Arizona law, even though it is a death penalty state, the charge of conspiracy is not eligible for the death penalty. So at least, it looks like she went unscathed with the death penalty twice. The Idaho court set that aside. And then in Arizona, she's not death penalty qualified. But this is a case that obviously not only the convictions in Idaho will be admitted against her, but also the evidence in Idaho will be admitted against her because of just the pattern and scheme that is common between these two cases involving the same co-conspirator. So, I think the idea here is she should potentially consider engaging in plea negotiations in Arizona. I'm not sure what there is to gain because the evidence is pretty strong.
I mean, even if she is convicted in Arizona, are we looking at another life sentence? I mean, tangibly, does this make any difference at this point?
I mean, look, in Idaho, interestingly, we've been talking about LWOP, life without parole, but in Idaho, she's exposed to 10 to life. So she could, probation, doing an assessment of what the recommended sentence should be, could potentially give her decades and not life, although that I think is unlikely. But her exposure in Idaho is 10 to life, and the likelihood of what she'll get is life without parole on multiple counts. And so if that is what her sentence, in fact, will be, then I'm not sure what difference it would make in Arizona if she got yet another life sentence that would run potentially consecutive.
Okay. Tracy, you say that digital forensics are going to be key going forward. Help us understand why.
So to me, really as a former FBI agent, and even in the CIA, digital evidence is extremely important because typically it doesn't lie, and it's really difficult for it to be manipulated. Certainly we have blood evidence and those kinds of things, but we have seen multiple cases where it has been kind of mishandled, it hasn't been processed correctly, and then that provides an issue for the defense to use at trial, and rightly so. And so I think in this case, because she's looking at those charges against Alex and then Mr. Vallow, and then also we have to look at, her niece's husband, Brandon Boudreaux, I believe. And he's also someone who had an attempt on his life. And I think that's going to be brought up as well. And right now they have a lot of digital evidence, mainly from Alex, quite frankly. I know he's not here anymore to tell his story, going back and forth from Idaho to Gilbert and really putting him, at the scene of the crime with his phone. And so I think that's going to be very critical in moving forward with this case. But I'm really not sure, really, I agree with Sara. I'm not sure what she's going to be able to kind of deal in terms of striking a plea deal at this point.
Okay. Sara, let's talk about the prosecution quickly. They told jurors in closing arguments that Vallow was driven purely by, quote, money, power, and sex. We know that DNA analyst also testified that a hair of hers was found on the duct tape buried with JJ, that it did match Lori. What piece of evidence in the end do you think was most convincing to the jury?
I mean, I definitely don't think it was the hair. I think that was the most defensible piece of evidence, just because, of course, a mother's hair could be found on a child's pajamas, on the blanket that was buried with him. I think it really was, I think the prosecution did a great job presenting motive, the idea that she believed in these prophecies that all led to death, and that was the power, part of their theory. And then the money was obviously, I don't, personally, I don't think she killed to collect the Social Security benefits and the money. I think that's something that she did after the fact, but she definitely killed because these children and Chad Daybell's wife were obstacles. She definitely, Natasha, there's something not right mentally. Obviously, there's no insanity defense in Idaho. She had very much controlled her defense attorneys and their ability to be able to put on some sort of a diminished capacity defense. That's going to be really interesting at sentencing, because at sentencing, it's not really about her culpability. It's about mitigation, and her mental state is a big mitigating factor. And so I wonder, how much is she going to allow them to present that sort of evidence?
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.